Hello, my name is Stephen Wierzbinski, and this is my number 3 video journal for ED 612. I'm going to start off with, we're talking about master scheduling. We've had to complete an interview and a project in the class, and it's very, very fascinating how much work actually has to go into a schedule for a middle school or high school. But some ethical things that I think might cause a dilemma going down the road for me is, first of all, looking at students that aren't necessarily on the path to meeting the A through G requirements, and it's just hard. We're there to help the students, and I think, when doing that, I'm gonna want to naturally push them into everything that they need to get into, because that's our hopes, that these students are ready for whatever it is they want to do when they're done. And realistically, that's just not going to happen. But trying to push those in is complicated. Another dilemma is, scheduling what teachers do what classes. There's so many different variables. How do you evenly split that up? Or do you evenly split it up? Do you give all the high students to one teacher, all the lows, or do you make those teachers split out the high kids or high classes, low classes? I think that's going to be a major dilemma. And then also working with this special education master schedule, I think that's going to be a huge dilemma for me, because when we look at stuff, we want the best for them. And, it is my dream that every kid has what they need when they leave. I mean, even students with disabilities. And going through all the things that we have to do for students is pretty rough when you're looking at a master schedule, and I just see that being an issue. But building the master schedule is massively important for all, because that's the schedule. We got to keep in mind the A through G requirements for students. We also have to keep in any technical classes that we have. And how that all gets done, you really have to come together as a team. The one person I interviewed, I think, made a good point. If you kind of start building the schedule, but then you take it to your department chairs and kind of let them have input, that's a good way to get buy-in from them in order for them not to be upset or frazzled for a whole year. Because once that master schedule is done, it's kind of hard to maneuver it around. When we're doing it, we have, my biggest key is keeping in mind the importance of meeting all of the students' needs. And when you get to a school of, let's say, 1,000 to 3,000, building a master schedule isn't just a, hey, here's what it's going to be. It's a long, intensive process, because there's so many different variables, from your EL students to your SPED students to your students that have failed a class to your high-achieving AP GATE students. It's not just a real simple, hey, here's the classes, this is what it's going to be. You really need to keep in mind all the students as well as your staff. You don't want your staff not to have buy-in, because they're not going to enjoy teaching those classes if they don't have the buy-in. So overall, just master scheduling is extremely complex system, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of different techniques in order to build a solid master schedule. This is my video. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.